Hi, it's Kirsten, and I wanted to do a video today on integrity. This is a very powerful but simple word. Before I go any further, please like and subscribe. So integrity means basically, in its simplest form, doing what you say and saying what you mean. Acting ethically, being honest and honorable. It's difficult for people to do that. They're not necessarily thinking on a conscious level of if they keep a promise, do they mean to keep it? Of course, most of us mean to keep a promise that we make, but when you speak it out of your mouth, it becomes a reality. It becomes something that is a bond or a trust that can be broken if you don't live up to it. So what I have learned over the years is that people mean well, good intentioned. They want to do what they say they are going to do. They want to mean what they say, but it doesn't always happen. And I think underneath all of that is fear, discomfort. You want to stay in your comfort zone. You don't want to do anything that's uncomfortable, and also it's just kind of pure laziness sometimes. If you don't keep a promise to yourself and to others, there can be consequences from that. And there's also rewards of doing what you say you're going to do. On the most powerful level, if you don't keep a promise to yourself, which is the most important, you're going to lose confidence in yourself and in your abilities. And we don't always think about what that means, or that those two are connected. That if you say you're going to do something for yourself, like I'm going to be somewhere in 20 minutes, and you're not there in 20 minutes, doesn't matter what the reason is. If you didn't make it and it's a consistent thing where you don't do what you say you're going to do to yourself, then you don't really believe what you say. You don't believe that you're capable, and you don't believe that you will. There could be bigger promises. I'm going to work for this job. I'm going to work for this degree. I'm going to work to find a mate and start a family. I'm going to work to buy a house. I'm going to work to find my purpose in life. There's a lot of things that we promise ourselves, whether it's conscious or not. There are things that we say that we want to do, either because we believe it or because society tells us we should. Whatever the reason, we may fall short of that. And it may not be something that you're consciously saying to yourself, well, I did not do this, and so I think less of me. It's an unconscious thing. It's going to affect you. So if there are many broken promises that you've made to yourself over the years, excuse me, that is going to do something to your self-belief, to your self-confidence, to how you view yourself, to how much you trust yourself with others. And that takes us to others. So you make promises to yourself, you don't keep them. You don't really believe your word to yourself. You make promises to others and you don't keep it, because the two are most certainly aligned. If you're going to break promises to yourself, you're going to break promises to others. And so you break promises to others, they don't believe you. You could lose friendships, lose relationships through that, because I think one of the core of any relationship, whatever kind of relationship that you're having, is trust. And how is trust built? By doing what you say you're going to do and saying what you mean. It's really that simple. Acting with integrity and having others trust you and you trusting yourself are all together. One cannot happen without the other. You cannot be a person with integrity but also be trustworthy. You know, you can't be honest and not have integrity. So I think having integrity is the basis of all of it. So I think that's how I've always chosen to live my life. It's not easy. It's very difficult. It can be much easier to break a promise and come up with many excuses. It's easy to come up with excuses as to why you didn't do something that you said you were going to do. And, you know, so that's what I build my foundation on with myself and with others, and so that I can feel good about myself and others can feel good about me, that whatever I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. This is powerful, it's simple, it is also difficult. Okay, it can be simple, meaning it's just you do it or you don't do it, or you say it or you don't say it, you mean it or you don't mean it, but it's not easy, because it requires looking in the mirror and making sure that you're standing up at all times for your truth and other people's truth, and you're not giving yourself any breaks or outs. So it's just something that we all should pay attention to as we move forward in life. You know, how do you want to live your life? Do you want people to trust you? Do you have relationships where others say they can't trust you and you wonder, why are they not trusting me? I mean, I usually do what I say I'm going to do. I mean, I'm there for them if they're hurt. If they need money, I'll loan them money. But there's a lot of little things that can erode someone's trust. As simple as you don't live as you say you're going to live. Any hypocriticalness that's in there, that's going to mess up integrity and trust and honesty. And bargaining with yourself, bargaining with others. Not holding yourself up to the highest ideal of what you can be is really the key to making this work, to living with integrity, to living with honesty, to being who you know that you can be at your best. Because we really should all be doing that, right? Living our best selves. Not living our mediocre lives, or certainly not less than what we could, but rising above all of that goes on around us and being our best, despite what's happening around us. Despite other people breaking promises to us and to themselves, we're not going to break promises to them and to ourselves. So again, this is not easy, but it's a good way to live your life, to just always know that you're moving forward, doing exactly what you say you're going to do. And so there's just never a question. It's very easy in terms of there is just not stress there. Once you start walking that path, every day it becomes easier to live that, to live up to what you say that you can do, to mean what you say and say what you mean and do what you mean, you know, do what you say. It becomes easier the more that you walk that path. And the beginning of anything that you do is always going to be the hardest. And so I've been living this way for a certain amount of years. It isn't hard, but I do find that it can, as people do trust me, but at the same time, it can be a lonely path because a lot of people are not living that way. I've done exercises where you see if people do what they say they're going to do, and I find that most people don't, just because of, again, what I mentioned in the beginning, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, not wanting to create any kind of uncomfortable space anywhere, you know, emotionally or energetically. They take the easy way out. Now, I do that in other ways, so I'm not, you know, judging anybody. There's no place for judgment in anything. There's just taking responsibility. And I take responsibility that when I don't do what I say I'm going to do, that it's going to affect the energy around me, it's going to affect how other people treat me, and most importantly, how I treat myself. Okay, here's another video that's going to come up next. I think I'm going to do one on confidence. Life is now. Never forget that.